So, my advice to people, artists, whomever, anybody who's wanting to pursue a goal or a dream, know what your why is, have a solid uh, foundation like within yourself, know who you are, and know what your why is.
How you guys doing? This is SongLab Live. You're here with EarlAlex, and I'm bringing you another artist, a creative that's about to actually release her album, and we're going to do a concert commemorating this album release. But of course, I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, and they also have brought a part of their team, and it's a true team that has worked together to bring to you a masterful creative work. And I'm excited for you to get to know them. And you already know how we do here at SongLab Live. We collaborate and educate. So we're about to jump into this new episode of SongLab Live today. Let's go. Now, as we're getting into this, of course, first I want the artists to introduce themselves. So who do I have here with me today?
Well, hello, my name is Whitney Jones.
And my name is Christopher Boozer.
Right, all right. Now, can I get you guys to share where they can find you? First, Whitney, online, socially, and then also your music. But then, Christopher, go ahead and share your information as well.
Okay, you can go to my website at www.whitneyjonesmusic.com. You can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok at Whitney Jones Music. If you're on Facebook, the page is Whitney Jones Music page. If you're on X, formerly known as Twitter, you can follow me at Whitney J Music.
Nice. Now, she brought a significant team member with her today. Go ahead, Chris. Tell them how they can find you online. My bad. Go ahead, Christopher. Tell them how they can find you online. And also let them know about the role that you play in her life and career.
I am fortunate enough to be married to this lovely lady, and it was always my dream to make music, and the honor of being able to make music with her is just something that I couldn't have even fathomed in my wildest dream. So to reach me, you can look, I have the website, mrmoveyourdreams.com. That's really what I'm about. And every platform, it's Move Your Dreams. That's the way you can find me on Instagram, X, Facebook. That's my focus. That's my goal, to help people move their dreams. So that's the joy that I get to have with this young lady.
And Chris, I guess we started it at a good place. All right.
I do not go by Chris.
You don't at all?
No.
Well, that's good to know. I actually haven't known that until this
Yeah,
point.
so family and people who've known me from the time I was little, they'll, call me by my nickname or Chris, but I only go by Christopher, So if you ever hear someone calling me Chris, they knew me from when I was 10.
Way back.
I don't even call him Chris.
No?
It feels weird when I hear other people, like when we go around his family and they call him Chris. I'd be like, it's Christopher.
Yeah.
One of the strangest realizations I had was I have a friend named Topher. Yeah, so it's like Chris Topher, but he's just a Topher part. Yeah, and literally it's Topher.
Okay.
I do a Topher when I was in middle school. Topher Oliver. Yeah,
That's
he
crazy.
was
Wow.
Caucasian.
Okay.
Anyway, we're going to jump back into this. Go
Okay.
ahead. Christopher,
Yes, sir.
if you can let the people know your role and position in her career, and then how can they get in contact with her? Say they wanted to do business or bring her on to a show or something.
Absolutely. So I have the great pleasure of being her manager. And if you would like to book her, you can reach us at booking@whitneyjones.com.
Nope, that's not the email.
You're right. It's booking@whitneyjonesmusic.com. You're right.
There we go.
All right,
Don't
so
forget the
my-
music, because you know what it's about.
Yeah, whitneyjonesmusic.com.
Well, that's awesome. We want people to dive into all the offerings that Whitney Jones has to offer. And Whitney, you've actually been doing it for a while. Can you speak a little bit to your experience and, a little bit of your come up, but then get into the things and the highlights of your career, so far to where you're at?
Okay. So music has always been a part of my life. I started off on piano at 5, taking private lessons, doing classical studies. Um, I studied with the Dr. Shirley Blankenship when I lived in Champaign, Illinois. And I spent part of my childhood there before we moved to Georgia when I was 13. Um, I studied piano all the way through, I want to say, 10th grade. And that's when I started focusing more on my voice. It was 8th grade, though, when everyone kind of found out that I could sing. um, I entered into a talent show at my school, and I got a standing ovation. I sang a Karen Clark Sheard song from her album, Finally Karen. And I got a standing ovation for that. And everyone was coming up to my mom and they were like, oh my gosh, she's so good. I didn't know she could sing. She's so good. She was like, I didn't know she could sing either. I mean, I had always sang in choir and at school, like in the chorus and things like that, but never solo. I was little Whitney who played piano. Everyone knew I was twinkling the ivories. So after high school, well, kept singing all the way through high school, stopped piano lessons in 10th grade, started focusing more on voice. And then after high school, I decided to attend Berklee College of Music, where voice was my primary instrument. I studied music therapy while I was there. That was my major. I went there for contemporary writing and production, which is what I'm doing now. But I decided to go the music therapy route, and I'm glad I did because it brought me along this journey of healing, which was much needed, and it has definitely impacted and affected my artistry even to this day. So after graduating from college, I did a residency at Wally's Jazz Cafe in Boston. I was the first female band leader there, the first female band leader to have her own residency in the history of the club. And it's a historic jazz venue. So I had my Soulful Sundays with Whitney Jones, and it was jazz, it was contemporary R&B, it was fusion, it was funk. I mean, we were up in there with horns and guitar, sometimes multiple guitars, keyboards, drums, bass. It was popping.
Okay.
It was after that we went to cut that out. After Wally's, while at Wally's, I was saying, while at Wally's in 2012, I was like, I think I'm gonna be an artist. And everybody was like, yeah.
We in the know.
We assumed that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until then where I had I had to accept that. Like, okay, I'm not just singing just to be singing. Like, I actually like creating, because a lot of times at Wally's I would improvise a whole song, just create on the spot. Sometimes we would improvise for 30 minutes, and it was just, that's the premise of jazz, right?
Yeah.
So I wrote a lot of songs while I was there. Some were improvised. Some I came in and rehearsed with the band and taught the band, hey band, I have a new song. I want y'all to try it. Let's practice it and do it on Sunday. So it was like that. 2012 came, and that's when I decided I'm going to be an artist. And everybody was like, yeah, we knew that. Glad you finally realized. So after that, life happened. Boom, I landed in Phoenix, right? And I was like, I don't want to be here. Why am I here, God? So that's a whole nother conversation. But I ended up staying here, and I officially moved to Phoenix in 2013.
Okay.
Right? And I had already started a recording. My first EP is called Higher. And I started recording that already, but I ended up relocating here in the middle of recording that. So I just felt all out of place because I needed to find musicians. I needed to find a studio. I didn't know anybody here. So it was just like trying to start from zero. Whereas I was established in Boston with musicians. I mean, the who's who was up there. Like, I went to school with wonderful musicians, and I'm here and I'm like, I gotta find people and studio and engineers and producers and all the whole nine.
Rebuild
Rebuild,
from scratch.
rebuild. I ran into this phenomenal vocalist who has passed away since then. Rest in peace, Morris Allen. Morris Allen. He connected me to a studio, and the engineer there, Otto Diagnolo, who was a phenomenal engineer. He connected me to him, and I'm forever grateful because I'm able to, record and do what I was doing there. I'm able to do it here now,
Yeah.
which Otto has since helped connect me to other musicians, and then just going out, to different live music events, finding the musicians. I call it head hunting, because I'm like, I need to see who's who. Oh, you're dope. Let me get your number. Hey, I need you to record on my album. I'm going to be doing an album, and I've been talking about this album for a while. So I finally finished my EP in 2017, and which initially was going to be an album, a full album, but it ended up being an EP, right? With 4 songs. So you got Higher, Strength of a Woman, Riding the Waves, and Feeling So Good. So that was my first release in 2017. Fast forward to 2020, and I'm like, I'm going to do another EP. And my husband, we were newlyweds. We got married November 11th, 2019.
Whoop, whoop.
So we're talking about like January, February of 2020. And I'm like, I'm going to do another EP. And he's like, go ahead and tell the people what you said, right?
All right. So I have been a part of music my entire life. And I'm talking about listening to 8 tracks, vinyl, just laying there. And an 8-track, you couldn't fast forward. You had to just listen. You had to hear every nuance of it. So when I heard her EP and, it's starting and I'm getting into it and it's over, it irritated me. So when she was talking about making another EP, I said, I need to tell you something. I hate your EP.
And my jaw dropped. I was like, what?
I was like, I hate it. I said, because by the time I get into it, it's over. And that's irritating. Because beautiful music, it tells a story. And just imagine you come to see an amazing movie and then right after the credits or the beginning, the intro, it's over. And you're like, what?
Yeah, like going to a Marvel film and that first fight scene, right when the first fight scene done, right? Cuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Lights turn on. Okay.
Exactly. That's exactly how I felt. So I told her, I was like, nah, you're doing a full album.
Yeah.
You have to.
I feel that that's loving motivation to do more, to push you to your pinnacle, and help you reach your potential.
Well, and I saw what was in her.
Yeah.
And like she said, she had to accept it as soon as I saw her. There's something divine in how she goes about doing things. So
can you, Whitney, tell me a little bit about, because you said that you were performing prolifically in Boston, and then you came to Arizona and had to kind of start over. Can you give me a little bit about how it's been building your ability to perform out here in Arizona where you currently are? And then, you may have had performances. Is there elsewhere? Is there any that you'd like to highlight that you had up until now?
Oh, man. Yes. I had a wonderful residency at Char's in 2022. And that was another situation where it was a Soulful Sundays event. I brought that name back.
Nice.
And I was like, I want to do that here. I had a wonderful band. I had Mel Brown on bass, Lamar Gaines on keys, Marcus Williams on guitar, and Brandon Carter on drums, as well as Chris Strong on drums. And the DJ, oh my gosh, DJ Super C. It was a wonderful event. We had a food truck outside. It was Hot Sauce and Peppers, which is a vegan food truck, and they sell cauliflower wings. Oh my God.
Y'all should have invited me. Vegan food truck, y'all should have invited me.
It's fire.
It's like the best. First of all, you don't even have to be vegan to enjoy this food. It's just soul food. that is just it's phenomenal.
And they're around today still?
Oh,
Are they?
yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
gonna give
You
me their
guys-
information.
Shout out to Hot
Not
Sauce and Pepper.
asking.
No, they're like our cousins. You know, they're
Nice.
family. They're very cool. They're very family oriented. It's a black
They're inviting
owned,
me over for dinner.
not
but-
minority, woman owned, also business. Shout out to AJ and Tasia. So
No, but that's awesome. So at Char's, and I've heard of Char's. I don't know if you know my guy Michael Brown. I used to work with him. He does Key Vibes Radio, and he used to have a residency at Char's for a little bit. And so he plays the sax and stuff. So
no, Michael.
yeah, so that's how I kind of found out more about Char's.
Yeah.
And they have a great history themselves. What are some of the other performances?
Yeah. And I had a concert at Scottsdale Center for the Performing Arts in 2021 where I actually previewed some songs that I was working on, that I was writing. So some of those songs are now on the album, which you all will get to hear on April 25th.
Nice.
Yeah.
And April 25th is the release of your, because you've released an EP, it's not your debut project, but this is your debut album.
Yes, this is my debut album. This is my very first album, and this is my baby. This was a labor of love. It again, I started in 2020 with writing the album, with saying, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do a full album. Thanks to my husband saying, nah, you need to go ahead and do it. You got it, in so many words. So 2020 is when I started writing the album and recording, and I finished it 2024. We were working on getting it mixed and mastered by the end of 2024. And here we are, 2025. It's coming out April 25th, based on reality.
Now, that is a very realistic projection of time as far as starting a project and then being able to put it out. Now, I know of some artists that are like, look, I can write a track in 10 minutes and then, there you go. I got my single, I'll put it on DistroKid and put it out. But you guys didn't just say, hey, I'm going to create this and put it out. You actually pulled from life experience. You actually crafted together this experience. And now we have Based on Reality, which is from, ideas, time, effort put into it to make this the project that it is. And then also you're planning every step of the way. So the marketing, the release, and then there's a whole concert coming after it, which is amazing, which we're going to talk about. But really what I want to dive into, you did touch onto it a little bit as far as, coming to Arizona, relocating, having to start up, and then, getting back doing your shows and things. But some of that motivation that brought you to creating Based on Reality is kind of stemmed in your partnership that you guys have, in the love that you guys share. And if I can get you to touch on a bit of that, and then how the album came to be after his, kind of harsh but real motivation of, I don't want 4 songs, I need more. How did all that happen? Go ahead and share that with us.
So remember I said we got married November 2019, and you all remember what was going on around that time, right? So we get to 2020 and the world shuts down. We go on lockdown, the pandemic, and I sank into a depression. Like, all my gigs were off the book. First of all, I must mention, I left my full-time music therapy job in 2019. So July of 2019. So I'm like, okay, now it's time to be an artist, and I'm going to go and do all these wonderful things and tour and perform. I went to LA, remember we went to LA for some things. I performed out there. We would go out there frequently for performances. I even auditioned for Adam Blackstone's company and got selected as a background vocalist to, but then the pandemic happened. So nothing, came of that. And all my gigs that I had on the book, were wiped off. And so I just left my comfort zone of leaving my full-time job with benefits, and then the world shuts down, and I was like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Because I can't perform. That's how I was making money. So what am I supposed to do? And so I started, I sank. I was also newly pregnant. I was in my first trimester, and I just sank into a depression. There were times when I was just in the bed and didn't even want to eat. as a pregnant woman, I like food, when first of all, I like food anyway. I'm a foodie, but especially when I'm pregnant, listen, give me 2 of everything, I mean, I was eating a lot. I ate a lot. So anyway,
I mean, but you're supposed to.
you're supposed to, but sometimes I was overeating too because I was like, this is good. And I got an excuse. I'm going to indulge. But there were times I was just laying in the bed. I wouldn't even get up. And Christopher would come in there and be like, babe, you got to eat. You got to get up. And that's how he knew I was depressed, because I am a foodie. I love the experience of having good tasting plant-based food. And I didn't even want to do that. I wanted to just lay in bed and sleep all day, all night. And this just went on for a while. Finally, I decided to pull myself up by my own bootstraps, so to speak. I started going back to therapy. I started doing a gratitude journal, 5 things I'm grateful for every day. I started meditating. So I downloaded these meditation apps, or go on YouTube and I would find a video. Just 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It didn't have to be long. And then I started writing. I started writing songs, and I started a project called 52, where I would write a song and put it together, put a little video together, and post it on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. And so a lot of these songs that I wrote during that time are on this album. And that's why I called it Based on Reality, because I literally wrote my way out of a depression. When I listen to the songs, even to this day, sometimes I just sit there and cry, because I'm like, gosh, I know what I was going through at that time. And this is the beauty that came from that. It's like a rose that grew through concrete.
Yeah.
So Mary Mary has this song, dirt. We all need a little bit of dirt to grow. And I'm so thankful for that depression. I'm thankful for that time. I'm thankful for that period of time, because I was able to really tap into who I am and get to know myself more. And I think I kind of hid behind the music. And I had all these labels. Oh, I'm a board certified music therapist. I used to say I got an alphabet behind my name, which I did. It was Whitney Jones, BM, MT-BC, credentials, right?
Yeah.
And that was important for me. The fact that I graduated from college, the fact that I earned this degree and went into this field, I'm helping people through music in this way. And my spirit was like, no, you need to do what you're supposed to do, which is write, perform, record, and help the people that way, because they need that. They're eating McDonald's. They need that real soul music. They need that real down home cooked meal through sound.
Yeah. A hearty meal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Something that's going to stick to their ribs.
Yeah. Yeah. And their soul.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, look, that sounds like this album encapsulates not only your newfound connection, but also your rebirth into a better you, a more solid, mentally stable, healthy-minded you. And that's kind of what I was hearing when you guys shared the EP with me. It spoke to me in a way where I was uplifted, I was inspired, and I felt like I could use these messages in my own life. I could really relate to the lyrics and the progression of it.
The EP or the full album?
The EPK is what I meant to say. The EPK. When you guys shared with me the EPK, where I could hear the full album. Oh, y'all don't get that. I got the exclusive brand new look into, and it was nice. It entreated me with something I don't get from a lot of music nowadays.
Right.
I can hear the expression of what you were going through, of your experience at the time. And so I like the way it progressed. I like the music. It was something that I can go back to and listen to and get back into a better state of being, get into kind of like your overcoming, spirit. I can get some of that and continue on with my day. So I appreciated that. And that's what I liked about it. And so I really wanted you to be able to share that, as well as the motivations that it came to making this album come to be, because for one, it's a beautiful project in itself, but it is dropping soon. And that's April 25th. Shout out, shout out. The album is dropping soon. And I think people will be entreated to the same type of experience that I had.
Yeah.
And you brought together some great people for that album. People you've worked with over the years, the
yeah.
bands. Could I get you, the band members, could I get you to highlight them, tell people who's involved with the creation of this work, and, you know, any shout outs you want to give?
So I have my wonderful co-producers that I worked with, W. Timothy Bailey Jr., Nick Blount, and Josiah Walker. I wrote and produced majority of the album, but they helped me with select tracks. I also did co-writing with Christopher, my husband / manager / co-writer /
Background vocalist.
yeah. I be like, come on, babe, get on the mic. And no. And I'm like, no, he's getting on the mic today, Otto. Come on, get him mic'd up.
Sounds like he's a / whatever you need, I got you.
I mean, that's what he said when we got engaged. So I'm just like, hey, I need you to,
Facts.
yeah. Can you carry this? Oh, can you sing this? Harmonize with me on this. Here, finish the song. What do you think about this? You know, well, that's how we work, you know. Let's see. As far as the instrumentalists and musicians that I hired to work on this project, we have Buddy Strong on piano and organ, Lamar Gaines on keyboards, Ronnie Jones on keys, Jeremy Seaton on keys, Mario Mendeville on bass, Mel Brown on bass, Ira King on drums, Brandon Carter on drums, Frank Valdez on percussion, Eric King on vocals for one of the songs, Celia King on vocals for one of the songs, and my Marcus Williams, he did a guitar solo for Under the Moonlight for me, and then Andre Frappier on guitar for the whole album.
Nice.
Gosh, who else did I?
Trumpet.
Thank you. I was like, I know I'm forgetting somebody. Trumpet and flugelhorn. I might add flugelhorn.
Not leave out the flugel.
Flugelhorn, you know,
Yes.
flugelhorn is on the album. Okay, Greg Varlata, the wonderful, talented Greg Varlata. I believe that's all. Am I forgetting anybody? If I forgot anybody, charge it to my head, not my heart.
You said Frank, right?
I said Frank.
Okay.
Frank on percussion. Yes, I did a little percussion on the album, some tambourine and hand claps, and
Now, I took a little bit of time to research the people as the names came to me about who was involved in the event and the album. Everybody has their own list of credits.
Oh yeah,
They are all stacked
yeah,
musicians,
yeah.
and they've done plenty. Some Grammy award-winning musicians are on this album and are going to be performing at the concert with you alongside. Now, can you give me the name of some of the people who will also be there performing at the album release concert that is actually coming together as well? And this is May 9th, and we can start talking about that a little bit also.
Yeah. So May 9th, I'm gonna have Buddy Strong on keys. Basically, most of the people who performed on the album, I asked them to be a part of the live recording. You know, they did the album, then like, come on, let's do this. You know, and it depended on their availability. But we have Buddy Strong on keys for the concert. Rich Kniss on guitar, and Mel Brown on bass, Ira King on drums, Frank Valdez on percussion, and we'll have Dr. Jesse McGuire on trumpet. And for background vocals, we have Nico B, Tweena Marie, and Celia King will be coming to perform the select track that she's going to be featured on. And also, my friend and brother, Packer Lane, he's going to be opening the show. He's a wonderful, soulful brother from Alabama, and he does his thing, acoustic, soul, like his sound, his songs, his guitar playing and singing, it just sounds like a warm hug.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, oh, and a nice cup of soup. It's comforting.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that, for one, we like look up these people
Yeah.
because it's a evening of excellence.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I've been brought on board to host it, and that's through Event Specialty Partners, who's assisting with making sure that this event is just coming to fruition and to being the best that it can be. And so I'm thankful for the partnership and to be involved in it. But what I've really found and what I pull from this experience myself is the quality of the people involved. Like it's high level. Everybody is looking. It will can definitely do their part, but is looking to bring their best.
Oh yeah.
And so that I'm appreciative of everybody just looking to heighten, their level of what they bring to this event in order to honor the album and where you're at in your artistry today. So this event commemorating the album release, April 25th, it's definitely packed full of top musicians, a wonderful opening act with Packer Lane, and people who we know and love and have worked with, such as Twin and Marie, people who we know like Nyko B, people who we connect with, Buddy Strong, his cousin actually works out of this studio, and he's a producer here, which is amazing. So it's all friends and family. And so thank you very much for having this conversation with us. If I can get you to real quick give the people who are listening, any aspiring artists that would like to have success in their career, similar to the way that you've been able to maintain and sustain yours throughout this time. Could you give them a quick little tip, advice, and then also let people know before we go, let people know how to find you and connect with your music.
All right. So my advice to people, artists, whomever, anybody who's wanting to pursue a goal or a dream, know what your why is, have a solid foundation like within yourself. Know who you are and know what your why is. What is your purpose, right? Because I do believe that we're all here for a specific purpose on this earth, and we should tap into that and do that. Do the thing that you were put here on the earth to do.
Nice. Now go ahead and let people know how to find you and your music so they can tap into Whitney Jones' music.
Yes. First of all, I want to see you all May 9th at Chandler Center for the Arts at 7 p.m. at the album release concert, right? Based on reality, an evening of excellence. You all can find me at Whitney Jones Music on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and on Twitter, Whitney J Music, on Facebook. Oh yeah, I forgot it's X, my bad. Whitney J Music. And on Facebook, Whitney Jones Music page. You may also go to my website, www.whitneyjonesmusic.com. Pre-order the album. Order the album when it comes out April 25th. We'll have merch on there. Purchase the merch as well as CDs and vinyl.
And to get the tickets for the concert, you will go to Ticketmaster. Like Whitney Jones, and it's an evening of excellence. You can reach us at booking@whitneyjonesmusic.com.
Right. Look, you heard it from them. And we didn't just want to leave you with, hey, you got to know who Whitney Jones is, which is what we do. We wanted to give you a little something extra this go round. So, Whitney, if you don't mind, would you entreat us with a small performance that will let them know what to expect?
Yes, I actually would like to sing my new single. It's called True Love, and this is the second single released from the album. The first one was Under the Moonlight, which you guys have been streaming really well. So make sure you guys go and stream this one too. It's called True Love.
Bliss, that's how I feel when we're together. Can't wait to spend my time with you, dreaming of our life forever. I can't wait to spend my life with you. And in a minute of the day I dream of you, 'cause you are free to love on me, my baby, how you want. I love the special things that you do. Is called. It's alright because we got what we got right here is called true The touch of your lips send me through the roof. You excite me all the time. Hey, all my love is here and here is proof. I'm so glad I can spend my life with you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got fractures called. It's alright because we got what we got fractures called. True love. What we got fractures called. It's alright because we got what we got fractures called. True love. Yeah. Hey, true love. When we got fractures called. Hey, it's alright because we got. Hey, what we got right here is called true love. True love. I want to see y'all May 9th at Chandler Center for the Arts. Thank you.
Yo, if you didn't know, SongLab Live is back. So follow us. Check us out. We got new podcasts, new interviews, plenty more content to share. Thank you very much.